What's going on, guys? It's Jeff for MadHattersReef.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the IceCap ATO. And just like the Reef Cam that we took a look at last week, the ATO has a very similar box and design. It has a magnet on the bottom that holds that lid down, and when you first open it up, you're going to see the quick start guide, and this is probably the best guide that I've seen IceCap put together for one of their products. The Reef Cam, I was kind of flying blind with that, but this one gives you all the information that you need to get started up and running within probably 10 minutes of opening the box. So the first thing out of the box we're going to take a look at is the water tubing. Now this is a very generous amount of tubing for your setup, and it gives you about 6.5 feet. Now, unlike most ATOs on the market, this one runs off of dual optical eyes. The white one is the safety sensor, which if the water line exceeds that optical eye, it will trigger an alarm, and the black one is the water level. So when it drops below that eye, it kicks on the pump that will replenish the evaporated water. And here is the pump that the IceCap ATO uses. It is very, very small, and the benefit to that is it's going to be able to fit into small spaces, and the drawback is it might not have enough strength to push that water up to the tank if it's too far below the water line. As far as power consumption, the ATO only uses 4.5 watts, which is incredibly light in the power consumption, so you're probably not even going to realize that it's even there. And right here, what you see me pulling out is a siphon break, which you connect to the hose, so in the event of a power outage, you don't have to worry about that water pulling from the tank down to your water reservoir. And next up is the Optical Eye Mount. This is pretty self-explanatory. This is where you connect the optical eyes, and after that, last but not least, the controller for the ATO. First impressions, I'm really excited about the dual optical eye sensor. I think that's something that has been a long time coming, and I really don't know why more companies haven't actually gone to this design yet, because it just makes sense. Float switches, they fail time and time again, especially in the saltwater aquarium side of things. Alright, so let's get started with setting this puppy up. First, we're going to start with the pump, and pretty straightforward, unpackage the hose and connect it to the pump. Next up, we're going to be connecting the optical eyes to the magnet mount. And this is pretty straightforward as well. You take the optical eye, unscrew the lug nut, and connect it to the appropriate side of the mount. Now, the black optical eye is the water level eye, and that's going to be facing down. The optical eye with the white cable, that one needs to be facing up, so you're going to reverse mount it onto the magnet mount. And just a little tip, the red little gasket that you can see, that's actually supposed to be on the lug nut side of the optical eye, and hopefully you can avoid making the mistake. It was a little hard to get that white one in there, but once I got it in, it was ready to go and ready for the next step. After that, it was time to start hooking things up to the ATO controller. The black cable goes into the slot labeled TS, and the white cable goes into the label PS. And last but not least, the pump goes into the middle one that's labeled pump. The IceCap ATO found its way onto the quarantine tank. I've been having some issues trying to keep up with the evaporation on this tank, so I decided that was the best place for it. The dual optical eyes on this ATO is absolutely amazing. I'm really impressed with it overall. It's very responsive, and it is quick to shut off and turn on that pump, so I really don't see the opportunity of having problems with this ATO. And here's a quick shot of just how responsive the ATO is. I was moving the magnet mount up and down just to trigger the ATO pump, and you can see for yourself how quick and how responsive this actually is. The ATO also has some alarms, and here's a quick shot of that alarm. Now, the reason that the alarms might go off is, one, because the water line has exceeded the safety sensor, or that the pump has been on for more than 5 minutes. And that's really impressive with the price point of this ATO to be able to get those features. And that really is only something that you would expect to see on a much more expensive ATO. So final thoughts on the IceCap ATO. I'm very impressed with the dual optical eye sensor. I think that a lot more ATOs need to go to this format, especially the ATOs that are on the market that are using float switches. Optical eyes have been around for a while now. They've been battle tested and they are definitely showing their worthiness in the saltwater aquarium arena. So I think more ATOs need to go to this style of ATO. My only concern with the IceCap ATO is the optical eye mounting magnets. I would be very surprised in the long run that they don't show signs of rust, especially in a saltwater environment. But in the grand scheme of things, I think the IceCap ATO is a solid product. And if you're in the market for a auto top off, this is definitely something that you should consider, especially if you're not looking to spend a lot of money on an ATO. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this week's video. If you are new to Mad Hatter's Reef, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. I'll see you next time right here with a brand new video.
Okay.